This week, I'm going to be showing you guys how much I realistically read in a week with a 40-hour full-time job. Today is Monday, and I actually have the day off today, so I can get a lot of reading done. I'm going to start off by reading 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And this is a book that I've been wanting to read for a very long time. Obviously, it's super famous, really highly rated, so I'm excited to start off by reading that today. It is 12:30 right now. I've already gone to the gym, eaten my breakfast, taken a shower, all my morning routine stuff. To get to the village where the gym is, it is a 30-minute walk there and a 30-minute walk back. So that is a reoccurring amount of time that you'll see throughout the week that is kind of lost for reading there. But the commute is nice, and you know, I'm in nature there, going to the gym. That's what's important. It's realistic. But yeah, so today I'm just gonna read this book. I'm gonna start reading now. I'm gonna eat some lunch, continue reading. Then at 6 p.m. I'm gonna meet my friends for some dinner. After that, I am gonna call one of my friends as well. So I don't think I'm gonna have any time to read before bed. So I'm gonna get the bulk of my day off reading done right now, just in the middle of the day here. So it's almost 2:30. I've read 160 pages so far of the book. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm just going to say some of my thoughts because normally I like to wait until the end of a book to really make a final judgment, of course. But I will say the amount of Jose's and Aurelios kind of got confusing. Just the same name over and over again. Didn't really love that. I thought the beginning was pretty cool, but it did take a while for the real action to begin. I thought that the character of Malakides, I do not know how to pronounce that, was really cool though. Okay, so it is 4:55 and I've made it to page 333 over here. The book has kept going. Still not my favorite. I don't like that there's not really a concrete plot line that we're following. It's more just like the story of the town. Sometimes I do love when that's done, but in this book it doesn't feel as interesting. However, I am going to save all my full thoughts for the end because it's not quite over yet. I do think it's so interesting how some of the characters have held on for so long, like Ursula. Also introduction of a couple new characters like Fernanda, and her childhood story was pretty interesting, pretty unique in a way, so that was cool. But yeah, I think I have about 100 pages left. Do have to go and meet my friend, so I'll probably just finish the book tomorrow morning before work. So it's Tuesday, 11:40 a.m. I already went to the gym, had my breakfast, just took my shower, which is why my hair is so wet. And now I'm just gonna finish reading the book. I ended off on page 333 there, easy to remember. And I think the book only has about 415 pages, so I'm gonna have enough time to finish it up. Then I'll just kind of get ready for work. I have work at 2:30, so I'm gonna basically review the book for you guys when I'm on my commute to work there. So I'm on my way to work now. This is my commute, half an hour there and back every day to get to the gym, to get to work. It is a long commute, but when the view looks so nice, all the mountains, all the trees around, I just feel so blessed that I get to walk this every day. But yeah, I'm just gonna be reviewing the 100 Years of Solitude book for you guys now. So this one I'm gonna give a 3 out of 5, and I had super high expectations for this one going in, and they just felt super let down there. So I was just really let down by the story. Yeah, my main gripe with the book was that it didn't feel like there was any central plot line there. It just felt like it was about the family and about the town, and while that's okay, great and like the author's choice, I just didn't feel compelled to keep on reading. Another thing that I mentioned previously that I didn't like about the book was the repeated names, Jose, Aurelio, 1,000 times. And while by the end I could see how essential that was to the main message of the story, it still did annoy me personally. I thought that one thing that was interesting about the book was how the women were much more longer lasting and steady than the men. But I will say that I didn't like how strange the relationships with the family were a lot of the time there, and I didn't enjoy reading that, even though I knew that like that's the author's choice and he wants to tell that kind of story. Further down the path here, just because there was so much noise, so many cars going by, and I do have to get to work, I'll also say that the ending felt a lot more intentional, and while I personally didn't like the style of the story, didn't really like the book that much, I can still appreciate what the author was trying to do and see how he went about accomplishing that. So yeah, overall 3 out of 5. Just don't go into this one with super high expectations. But yeah, just going to work. Get all the flowers, man. What a nice commute I have. So lucky. So it's Wednesday today, 11:35-ish right now, and I'm gonna read for a little bit. I didn't go to the gym this morning, I just slept in, had a pretty chill morning, but now I'm gonna have my reading time. I'm gonna start reading Joan Didion's The Year of Magical Thinking, and I've actually been wanting to read something by Joan Didion for a while now, and then another book that I read recently mentioned her, and I was like, oh, I should probably read something that she wrote soon. Sometimes that's how I actually choose my books to read. I'll like have something in the back of my mind, like I should read something from this author, I should read this book, and then when I'm reminded of it, I kind of bump it up on my to be read list. So yeah, I'm gonna start reading this now, probably just gonna read for an hour here before having lunch, just chilling, getting ready before I have to work again at 2:30 today. So yeah, 2:30 to 11 is my work schedule today. So yeah, just now until 12:30, I will read a little bit of the book. Just get started here. So it is about 12:35 now, and I've read 106 pages of the book here, onto the 10th chapter now. It's about halfway done, which is great because I don't know why I thought this book was going to be longer, but it's a pretty short one, so I might just be able to finish that tomorrow. So this is a book where death is a main topic, so if you are planning to read it, I would definitely caution you to have that in mind. It's a lot about grief. One thing I will note about this book is it feels incredibly down to earth. I think that's the best description so far. Just really grounded, down to earth. Literally, like, that is the best description I can give for the book. But yeah, obviously I'm going to save my main conclusions and thoughts until I'm finished. But yeah, I think this is all I'm going to read for today because yeah, I still got to get ready for work, pack my dinner, make my lunch, commute to work, all that kind of stuff, and then I'm working until 11. So yeah, I think tomorrow I'll probably finish up the book then. Hello guys, it is Thursday and it is 11:46 a.m. I already went to the gym. I had to go to the store to get milk, so I did that, took my shower, ate my breakfast. Basically everything for my morning routine is done. Now I have some time before work to read, and I really want to finish the book. I think I'll be able to. I think I just have like a little over 100 pages left here, so I'm gonna read and hopefully finish. Luckily I have a little more time today because my friend is being so kind as to drive me from here to work, so I should have a little bit more time to make up for the reading. So yeah, I do want to finish this book now. I'm just gonna sit out to do that. Okay, so I was actually able to finish the book today, which I'm really happy about, and I did enjoy this book. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 here, though I could see myself rating it higher, maybe on a reread at a different point in life. Basically, like I mentioned before, this book is super down to earth. I would say that it's simple, but not in a bad way, like not in a way to be rude, just in a way that I mean more accessible. Like you can read it, and she's kind of writing to everybody. Like everybody can understand what she's trying to convey here in the book. Another thing that I liked with the writing style here was the use of repetition. In some books, it can be super annoying, but I feel like it just matched the writing style here and it fit with the book and it like worked in a good way. So I did appreciate that. And yeah, I'm happy that I finally read a book by Joan Didion. I appreciate her vulnerability in the book here, and I'm looking forward to reading more from her. One interesting thing that I did notice about this book that I didn't expect going into it was how it was dripping with wealth. There were so many casual just mentions of a lot of high-class things, like freaking watercress sandwiches, the Beverly Hills Hotel, like $50,000, like just, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of just high-class wealthy mentions that I was not expecting going into it, but yeah, just was kind of surprised by that. Another thing, so going in, I was pretty confused about the title, especially the word magical here. Given the subject matter, I was like, what is going on? But obviously, as I read, I understood that she meant it in a different sense, not that conception that comes into your mind at the beginning when you think of magical, like in a good way, just in another way. It did make sense. So I thought that was kind of interesting to play on people's expectations going in and then just kind of turn that word around and remind them that there is another sense of which that could be looked at. But yeah, overall, I did like this book. Like I said, I see myself rating it higher on a reread, maybe just at a different point in life. But for now, it's just not my personal favorite taste, though I can really understand and appreciate that it is a good book. So yeah, I would recommend you guys read this one, and I'm looking forward, like I said, to reading more from Didion here. And yeah, I do have work at 2:30 from 2:30 to 11 again, so I think that's all the reading that I'm going to get done today. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow to update you if I do any reading then. It is Friday, it is 9 p.m. I just finished my shift at work. I started at 12:30 today, worked until 8:30 without a break there. It was my choice though, don't worry, they're not killing me. But yeah, so I didn't have any time to read in the morning because I just had a chill morning, and then I had to clean because they were doing an inspection of my housing here. So I did that, and then tonight I'm just gonna have dinner and go to sleep basically, so I'm not gonna have any time to read today. So today was just a rest from the gym, rest from reading, basically just focus on work and eating kind of day. You know, sometimes days are like that. I'll see you tomorrow though. What is up, you guys? It is Saturday. I just got back from work and from the gym. I worked from 9 to 5:30 today and then went to the gym, walked back home. It's now around 7. I'm gonna shower, eat some dinner, and then I think I'm just gonna read a little bit before bed. Not too much though, but I am gonna start a new book. That book will be The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. This is a super tiny book here, so I'll probably get a little bit through it even if I don't read too much tonight, and then just maybe finish it off tomorrow. I'm excited to read something by him because I actually haven't read anything by Wells before, and he is obviously one of the science fiction greats there, so I do have kind of high expectations going in, which sometimes leads to disappointment for me, but let's hope not in this case. So yeah, just gonna eat, shower, and then I'll catch up with you guys right before bed. I'll probably just read while I'm in bed before I sleep. So yeah, catch you in a second there. Hello guys, it is 8:15 and I'm going to start reading before I go to sleep here. Not sure how much I'm going to get through with this book here, but yeah, just going to hang out in bed and read. Yeah, so in the War of the Worlds, will Earth be the loser? That is a question we're going to try and answer in this reading. I actually didn't know that they were coming from Mars here, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, wow, so many sci-fi books really revolve around Mars. It's true. Anyways, yeah, just gonna read. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit sleepy. That does happen after a full day of work. But yeah, just gonna read. See you in a little bit. So it's 9:15 now, and I've read 100 pages of the book so far. I'm not going to say too much because I do like to reserve more of my thoughts for the end, but this is definitely like a war. Like, that's what I was just thinking as I finished this last page. I was like, okay, yeah, there is a big concentration on the war, but not in the way that I expected going in or that you would expect from the title, from the concept there. It's not like a war between spaceships. It's more on the ground, and in that way, it feels more similar, more akin to the world wars that we've had that have actually been in small towns and just that have been in random towns with random people just shooting at each other and stuff. So it does feel more grounded in a sense to the wars that the author would have been familiar with. And then, yeah, also kind of interesting to see the older writing style here. It also kind of reminds me of the beginning of Out of the Silent Planet by C.S. Lewis, just that Mars connection there, a little bit of an older writing style. So when reading that, I was like kind of having some deja vu there. One thing I will say is that it is kind of annoying not really knowing the main character that well, though I do understand in this book he's sort of meant to be the everyman reader insert kind of character. But yeah, more to go. Finish it tomorrow. Gonna just chill a little bit, then go to sleep. Hello guys, it is Sunday, the last day of the week, and today I also have the day off, so I'm just gonna go on a little hike this morning. It is around 11 right now, so I'm just gonna hike a little bit. I wanted to go on a longer hike today actually, but I think it is gonna rain, so I decided to just stay closer to my home so I could go back easily if I needed to. And then yeah, just gonna hike for a little bit here. Then I'm gonna do my laundry later today, and while I do my laundry I always read when the washing's going in, so I'm gonna do that. But yeah, for now, just taking you guys for a quick little hike here. Hello you guys, welcome to the laundry room. Every single week when I do laundry, I always sit on the table behind me there and just read for the whole wash cycle, which is 43 minutes. Occasionally I'll stay for the dry, but not always. And today I think I'm just gonna stay for the wash. So yeah, I'm just gonna pop my clothes into the machine and then post up with the rest of the War of the Worlds. Okay guys, so I finished the book. I read 80 pages when I was waiting for my laundry down there. Then I just went up, I put it in the dryer, and I finished the last 20 here. I really enjoyed this book. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. It did not disappoint. I think that, like I said before, the fact that it was based on Earth and not like in space really made it grounded, and it made it a war novel more in line with the wars that people have really experienced here on Earth. So that was an interesting look. I can also see how this is a really good base for other science fiction novels and how other people could have drawn a lot of inspiration from Wells and from his ideas just in this novel, I'm sure in his other novels as well. But yeah, I can really see the sci-fi like early base here with him. I also thought that he did a really good job of the comparisons in this book, and he employed them at the perfect times. Like for example, the comparison with us and ants, with the red like what's called like the red vine, the red plant, and the foundations of a house, with our eating habits and the Martians' eating habits. Like he knew just when to employ those similarities there. So I thought that that was really good writing. Another part that I enjoyed and thought was the strongest part of the book was the conversation between the protagonist and the artilleryman, really close to the end there. And yeah, that was just a really strong point, really well written point of the book. I think also the ending did make logical sense if you think about it. And again, I can see how people drew from inspiration from that kind of ending, though I did think it happened pretty fast. But then again, I guess with war, sometimes the end can come fast and in unexpected ways. I will say the one thing about this book that I thought would have been so much better was if it ended 2 chapters earlier. Like the last 2 chapters were fine, they were okay, you know, well written enough. But had the book ended with the 8th chapter of the 2nd part there, I just feel like it would have been a better book. I feel like it would have been a better book about war in general, just more well written. Like just the perfect ending if it had ended 2 chapters earlier. So for that reason, that's why it's not above a 4 for me. Also, I feel like at some parts I did get not really bored, but I wasn't super heavily invested in it. So that's why it's also not above a 4. But yeah, just overall really decent book. Good sci-fi base, especially if you want to kind of get an idea as to how other sci-fi writers were inspired. It's always good to go back to a classic. So yeah, glad I read this book. Gotta go grab my clothes from downstairs from the dryer soon, eat my lunch, just chill. But I am gonna start reading another book right before bed. Maybe like not too long, maybe just an hour or something of reading before I go to sleep. But yeah, stay tuned to find out what that book will be. Okay guys, it's 8:10 now. I ate lunch, ate dinner, watched some YouTube, planned some future videos, and now I'm gonna read for about an hour here, I think, just to like 9:10, 9:15, something like that. And I'm actually going to start a new book, which is A Little Life. This is the first time that I'm going to be reading this book. I've seen it everywhere, like lots of other YouTube videos, just around in general, and lots of bookstore shelves. And yeah, this is going to be my first time reading it. So I'm kind of excited to read a popular book. Don't know how much I'll like it. And then I guess you guys won't get my full thoughts on this anyways, because the video will end, because the week will end. But at least I'll share with you what I think of the beginning here. But yeah, just gonna read this. Okay, so it's 9:30. I ended up reading a little bit more than I thought I would. I read 99 pages, stopped at 99, didn't get to 100 just because of the break in the part there. Just felt like a better stopping point. But yeah, honestly, so far, I like this book. I think it's pretty decent. I think it's realistic in a way, right? One part that really stood out to me was the relationship between one of the characters and his brother. I thought that was really strong and very memorable, like that point. I think it's cool to get to know each of the characters like through their own perspectives. And yeah, looking forward to reading more of this. It is sad, like, of course, a lot of things here it does like seem to be gearing up to be a sad book, as I believe I had heard that it is. But yeah, A Little Life. I don't know, that feels like an apt title for it. It does feel like life in a lot of ways, right? Like different people's experiences with their lives. And just, yeah, realistic, like I said before. But yeah, only like 99 pages into it, so I don't know much. Looking forward to reading the rest maybe tomorrow over the next couple days here. But yeah, that was how much I've read this week, working full-time 40-hour work week from Monday to Sunday. I read, you saw 3 books and a little bit of a book, I guess 1/5 of the book almost there. And the first book, 100 Years of Solitude, was around 400 pages. Didion's book, 200, War of the Worlds, 200, and then I read 100 here, so that would be 4, 2, 8, about 900 pages there. I'm not an insignificant amount. I mean, I think it was pretty good. Obviously, every week is different. I'd say on average this summer, because I've been really prioritizing reading, that's what it's been. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll probably make a few more like these in the future. So yeah, stay tuned. See you in the next one.